I woke up in my car outside a house I've never seen before. The family inside keeps waving at me like they've been expecting me for hours. I figured out something was wrong with my memory about 3 months ago. I started having these weird moments where I'd remember things that never happened to me, like remembering my first day of high school at a school I never attended, or knowing exactly how my grandmother's kitchen smelled, even though she died when I was 2. My girlfriend Charlotte thought I was losing my mind and moved out last week, but this was different. I was sitting in my Honda outside this blue ranch house on Maple Street, and I could remember living there for 15 years. I remembered painting the shutters green, installing that mailbox, even where I hid the spare key under the ceramic frog. Problem was, I'd never seen this place before in my life. The woman on the porch kept waving. She was maybe 60 with graying hair and a floral apron. Behind her stood a younger man, and what looked like 2 teenagers. They were all smiling and waving like I was their long-lost relative coming home for dinner. I got out of the car because honestly, what else was I supposed to do? The woman walked toward me with her arms open. She said her name was Heather, and that they'd been waiting for me. She said they knew I'd be coming because of my posts on social media. Apparently, I'd been posting weird things lately without remembering it. Photos of places I'd never been, status updates about childhood memories that weren't mine. Heather led me inside, and the house felt familiar in a way that made my skin crawl. I knew where the bathroom was, which floorboards creaked, even that the third kitchen drawer stuck if you pulled it too hard. But I'd never been here before. That's when Heather explained what was happening to me. She called it memory bleeding. She said some people are born with brains that can't tell the difference between their own experiences and the experiences of others. Usually it starts small, but it gets worse over time until you're remembering entire lifetimes that aren't yours. The man behind her, who turned out to be her son Derek, said they run an underground network that tracks people like me. They monitor social media patterns and behavioral changes that indicate someone is having episodes. He showed me a thick folder with my name on it containing screenshots of posts I didn't remember making and photos I didn't remember taking. But here's where it gets really messed up. Heather said I wasn't just bleeding random memories. I was specifically inheriting memories from people who died traumatically. The house I remembered living in belonged to a man named Vincent, who died in a car accident in 1987. The high school memories came from a girl who overdosed in 1994. The grandmother's kitchen belonged to someone who died in a house fire. Heather said her family were memory shepherdess. They help people like me through what they call the final bleeding episode, which happens when the condition reaches its peak. She said I had 2 choices. I could let the strongest inherited memory completely take over my personality and essentially become Vincent, living out the rest of my life believing I was him. Or I could fight to keep my original identity, but I'd lose the ability to form any new memories at all. Derek showed me photos of other people they'd helped. Some chose to become someone else entirely. Others chose to stay themselves but lived in a permanent present, unable to remember anything for more than a few minutes. The teenagers, who were Heather's grandchildren, started setting up what looked like medical equipment in the living room. Heather said the process had to happen soon, because my brain was already starting to fragment. She could tell, because I'd been unconsciously driving to places from Vincent's memories all week. That's when I realized the horrible truth. I looked around the room and suddenly understood why everything felt so familiar. This wasn't Vincent's house that I was remembering. This was my actual childhood home. Heather was my real grandmother. Derek was my uncle. And those teenagers were my cousins. I'd been so deep in memory bleeding that I'd completely forgotten my own family. They'd been trying to reach me for weeks, but I didn't recognize them anymore. And now I was sitting in my grandmother's living room while my own family prepared to help me choose between becoming a dead stranger or losing myself forever. The equipment was humming to life, and Heather was asking me to make my choice, but I couldn't remember which memories were actually mine anymore.